we all have a game we love that flew under the radar, an example of exceptional game design that you can share with your friends that they maybe haven't heard of. Now, back in the day, this was because we had all sorts of different consoles with their own exclusives here and there, but these days, distribution models are much wider spread. Games large, small and even micro-size can easily fall through the cracks and go a little bit unnoticed. One game I feel didn't get the attention it deserved was Assault Android Cactus, which is on both PC and PlayStation 4. It's an excellent little twin-stick shooter game, and I'm here today to tell you why I recommend it.
In Assault Android Cactus, you begin as an interplanetary police officer called Cactus. Cactus has found herself trapped on a space freighter whose AI-controlled robotic inhabitants have all gone a little bit mad. As the game progresses, she recruits a ragtag bunch of 9 androids working on the station, each with their own methods of dealing out destruction to help stop the robotic mutiny by taking out the ship's core. To help you take on the robotic hordes, you have a few power-ups and tricks that you can employ. Enemies occasionally drop these power-ups, which can provide extra firepower in the form of 2 tiny robots, pretty wings which give you a speed boost, or a shutdown ability that stops all enemies in their tracks. If you leave the power up alone for a few seconds, it will cycle whatever ability it provides, giving you the chance to pick up the right skill for the job at hand. The game marries the twitchy twin-stick gameplay of the likes of Robotron with a heap of influence from Treasures games such as Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun. You are constantly on the move, weaving between bullets and scanning the area for possible dangers. Levels are constantly shifting their layout, forcing you to adapt and switch up your tactics. If they aren't shifting their layout, they're throwing new obstacles at you like laser grids or blasts of fire from the ground. It's chaos and it's intense, and it's all somehow quite manageable. What really makes the game stand out to me, other than how it marries a lot of my favourite game styles, is that it's a testament to how much can be achieved by a small team of determined devs. Assault Android Cactus was made primarily by just 3 guys: Tim Dawson, Sanatana Mishra and Jeff Van Dyke.
Okay, so that's the basics covered. Just kidding, there's way more to it than that. Get yourselves ready for a lot of gameplay mechanic details, because Assault Android Cactus is one of those games that's laid with so many little gameplay mechanics, you don't tend to see that level of detail outside of a game made by Treasure.
The power-ups have their own little secret benefits that you can take advantage of as a high-level player. Shutdown gives you a few seconds of invincibility so you can tank any attacks already launched. The speed boost drags energy chips and batteries towards you, along with negating every third point of damage taken. And the firepower robots will block incoming attacks, which, if used well, can let you block whole laser blasts, which I am terrible at doing. Now, those little white energy chips you've probably noticed all over the level floors aren't just there as a level cleaning metagame. They boost the power of your current character's weapons over 3 stages, allowing you to deal out increasing amounts of damage, taking your gun from a pea shooter to a possible weapon of mass destruction in minutes. Instead of a regular health bar, you have a sort of combination of health bar and timer. As the 9 characters you play are all androids, they require a battery to run. A battery that only lasts 1 minute, which is crazy inconvenient outside of combat it seems. As you defeat enemies, there's a chance they'll drop a battery, this chance being increased as you get to the last enemies in the wave. Collect a battery and you're good for another minute. You have a health bar which, when depleted, will knock you down for a few seconds, costing you time and a little of your total score, as well as killing your current combo. It's bad to fall down basically. As you may have noticed, there's often a lot of bullets flying around the screen, so how can you avoid them if you find yourself about to be on the receiving end of an attack from all sides? Why, you activate your secondary weapon. In the process of switching guns, your little android will flash for a few frames, which indicates a period of invulnerability. This can be used to pass through waves of bullets and help you navigate to a better firing position from which to unleash your robot murdering attacks.
So that's a lot to take in, right? But don't worry, you can get through quite a lot of this game without really knowing all the little tiny tricks and techniques. Although that final boss is an absolute bastard if you don't know them. It's probably best to learn a few just in case. So what about those little androids, eh? How do they play?
Your introductory android is Cactus. She's a real straight shooter, literally. Her weapon is a straight shooting gun. Her secondary fire is a robot wrecking flamethrower. She's a great character to have you start off with, and you'll be able to learn the basics without worrying about any particular nuance the character's weapon may have. As an interesting little tidbit, originally her gun was going to be built into her arms, but eventually that was abandoned in order to have an assault rifle in her hands. All the other androids have their own unique set of weapons. Holly has homing bullets and can launch a cannonball to steamroll her enemies into the ground. Lemon fires a spread shot, with her secondary attack being a volley of straight firing rockets. Coral has a short range but deadly shotgun, and her secondary is a shield that both repels and attacks enemies. Starch, my personal favourite, is a slightly malfunctioning android that fires a solid laser beam which does more damage the closer you are to the enemy, and a secondary is a homing missile launcher barrage, great for clearing out the immediate area. Also, Starch likes to shout pineapple and calls the firepower drones tiny robots, which isn't a gameplay benefit but is super adorable. Following Starch is Aubergine. She has the most unique weapon in the game, a small droid called Hilo that spins around delivering a tornado of heated plasma to anything foolish enough to get near. I find her tricky to play with a controller, but with a keyboard and mouse you can wreck shop. So I'd say she's one for the pros. Her secondary weapon is a small singularity generator that drags robots in to damage them, kind of like Zarya's ultimate in Overwatch. Then we have Shiitake, who's generally considered the best character for the skilled player wishing to chase high scores. She fires a railgun which obliterates whole rows of enemies but is very slow to fire. This means every shot counts if you want to keep that combo running. Her secondary is a set of mines that fly up in the air before detonating, handy for taking care of any robots chasing you while you line up your railgun shots. Peanut is a fan favourite that fires a blast of molten material that wrecks almost anything, but is limited by a slightly short range. Her Giga Drill secondary attack is great for smashing through groups of enemies and can be used to grind around the edge of an arena to escape death. There's also Licorice, but as she's kind of a hidden bonus character, I won't go into her in detail.
So I guess that sums up everything there is to know about Assault Android Cactus, right? Nope. As you can tell from the timeline bar down below, there's still more to come. So why don't we take a look at all the gameplay modes and various bonuses you can unlock through the game.
Now, whilst the game doesn't feature online multiplayer, did I mention this was only made by 3 guys by the way? It does feature local co-op for up to 4 players, and on the PlayStation 4 version, you can use SharePlay to play multiplayer with a friend over the internet, when it actually works really well. You can play multiplayer in any mode, and if you're some sort of loser with no friends, you can have AI characters join in via an option in the extras menu. If you're feeling especially saucy, you can bump up the enemy count and thus the difficulty to numbers you'd have if you were in multiplayer too. As far as alternate modes go, you can play the Daily Drive to compete in an ever-changing high score battle, or take on the Infinity Drive for an endless battle for survival. The aim is to stay alive, not get knocked down, keep the chain running and get through as many layers as possible, which by the way includes boss battles. Upon finishing the game you can unlock a boss rush mode, which is a real trial but quite a lot of fun as the bosses compose a decent threat. The extras menu is filled with codex entries, production art and even some cool fan art which you can purchase with credits earned from general gameplay. There's also a bunch of extras dedicated to mixing the game up, such as the previously mentioned AI buddy mode, an isometric viewpoint, and quite bizarrely a first person shooter mode. The game's score is provided by Jeff Van Dyke, who had to learn how to code to ensure this game even got completed, and it's a dynamic mixture of synth and rock and suits the game perfectly. Jeff also worked on the soundtracks for Hands of Fate, Alien Isolation, the Total War series, and Skitchin'. In the extras menu there's an option to make the music rubber band, causing some quite odd variations on the game's tunes. Assault Android Cactus also has one of the greatest game over tunes ever. Assault Android Cactus scratches an arcade gaming itch for me that almost no large scale games will. This is the sort of awesome blastathon that you only get in the indie game scene these days. I play the game whenever I feel the urge to give myself a little bit of a skill test, as it has a remarkable ability to keep you focused whilst keeping you on the edge of losing control. Assault Android Cactus is available on Windows, Mac and Linux PCs, on PlayStation 4 and has PlayStation Vita and Wii U versions planned.
Now I think that mostly covers everything in this ludicrously well designed game, which may I remind you was only made by 3 people. Now hopefully watching this video has made you think, oh I'd like to buy a copy of that, which you could do, but I bought this indie box version of the game and as a result got a spare key for Steam, because I already owned it. So if you would like a copy of the game, go into the comments below, type pineapple with let's say 3 exclamation marks, that's 3, correct, and I'll do a drawing in a week of anyone who does that, and whoever wins will get a copy of the game for Steam. Now I do recommend buying the game though anyway, because to be honest, Jeff, Tim and Sanatana probably need the money for lunch. That would be really helpful, and they could make more games like this. That's what helps when you search out for these little independent games. You can find great ones and then support them and help them make more great ones. Or you could just go and buy another Call of Duty game. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Much appreciated if you got through to the end of this video, and obviously you're rewarded with that little giveaway opportunity. I'll see you next time folks. Catch you later.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. It's taken quite a while to get made thanks to ridiculous amounts of construction that have been going outside my window, meaning recording this voiceover stuff has been a nightmare. If you take the time to click on one of the videos below, there's a link to Biker Mice from Mars and other stuff. That's the previous video I did. And I'll thank you for watching again. Hopefully the next video won't take so long to make. My plan is to pick a game that's a little bit simpler and less sort of mechanic heavy to discuss. But yeah, thanks for watching. Do give Assault Android Cactus a try, and I'll catch you later. Bye.
I wanna live again once more. I can't feel my legs, I can't feel my fingers, I can't feel my face, I can't feel my feelings. I'm not half the droid I used to be. I'm not half the droid I want to be. I used to feel so real, I used to feel my meaning. Now I feel surreal.